What is up everyone, Socrates101 here, and today, as you can guess from the title of this video, I'm going to be doing a pre-game thought thingy, because this is actually just a moment, a couple of hours away before we are going to be battling the Los Angeles Luxrays, which you can see highlighted on your screen. So we're just gonna walk through this team really fast. And oh, I just noticed that the pre-draft thoughts are still on screen, which should not be the case, but apparently it is. However, the LA Luxrays have their first pick was Mega Venusaur, which was an okay pick. I mean, nothing against that because it was actually the first overall pick in the actual GBA. But they went with Mega Venusaur. They went with a fairly bulky team, and then they have a very balanced team as well. As my team is a lot more offensive. Their team is actually pretty bulky. But they went with Mega Venusaur. Then they have a Blissey, so I do suspect him to bring physically defensive Mega Venusaur, and then Spadef Blissey, or just Blissey in general, which is just a Spadef monster. I'm also suspecting him to bring a pretty fat team with the Hippowdon and a Heatran maybe even. But the other mons that I have prepared for are Ursaring, which gets checked by Suicune. We have Hydreigon, which is in general just a wall breaker, but it's not the fastest thing around, and Mega Gardevoir after the Mega Evolution does actually outspeed it, which is definitely a good thing. I'm obviously bringing my Mega Gardevoir because look at this team, it barely has any switch-ins to it in general. We do have Hippowdon, Jolteon, Heatran, which can potentially cause some problems if the right mons die. However, I do not suspect it to be that big of a threat. Meloetta, Superior, and then last but not least, Sandslash, which is his only way of hazard control, if I'm not mistaken. That is his only way of hazard control, and I do not even think he's going to bring his Sandslash to me, so I have anticipated on that very much, so that's why I'm not running Choice Specs Dragalge or AV Dragalge. But we're actually going to go into our team right now. So this is the team I will bring this week. If you want to check out this team again, you just have to go back a bit and then just pause it. I'm not going to go back to it because otherwise I don't want to make this video too long. First one I've picked is Zamora. Zamora is my Mega Gardevoir with obviously the Gardevoirite, the ability Trace, the Calm Mind because I want to be able to set up on a Blissey and its face. I do think after Calm Mind it actually kills with Hidden Power Ground on max HP, max speed of Heatran. I'm not sure. It's a guaranteed to a KO regardless. I do think it's actually an Oko after Stealth Rocks plus Size Shock switch, and I should calc that before I actually go in game. Which is just a bet. But we have a Calm Mind, Hyper Voice, Size Shock, and Hidden Power Ground. So nothing too special about his Gardevoir. I wanted to beat a lot of his team. Usually his only real switch into Mega Gardevoir is actually Heatran, so that's why I'm packing Hidden Power Ground. I can just click Size Shock pretty safely on the majority of his team, and then I'm going to break his potential balloon, and Zamora can put in a lot of work. So next off we have Empoleon. Empoleon is actually the one who is going to set up Stealth Frogs, going to get rid of hazards on my side of the field, even though my team is not weak to Stealth Frogs at all. Everyone takes neutral damage, which is 12.5%. But we do have some speed investment to outspeed. I do think it's no speed Machamp that we are going to be outspeeding. Sorry, I clicked the wrong tab right there. Let me just close that real quick. And same goes with... No, I actually put enough speed AVs on Dragalge, which is running the safety goggles this week, to outspeed no speed Hippowdon, which is going to be pretty crucial. So, well, back to Phillips, because Phillips, my Empoleon is especially defensive. It has some speed investment. I already told you why that was. Scald, Knockoff, and Defog just for some extra support. This is basically my Hydreigon check. I don't really need a hard counter to it because I just need to wear it down a tiny bit. Need to get rid of his item, need to try and just get some damage on it, and then I do have checks with Anua on Fair. So that's what we're going with. This thing only needs to get damage off on the Hydreigon, and then I'm in a good position. Next off we have Dun. These are actually all player names that started in the last QPR game that I checked the lineup for. They're going to be called the same nickname throughout the entire season. But we're gonna go with done, which is my Dragalgy, which has enough speed investment to outspeed no zero speed Hippowdon. No, actually kind of speed this some speed Hippowdon, because I thought maybe he predicted my speed creep and I would put 8 speed EVs on there, so I put a bit more. So that's why this is a thing. But we have Draco, we have Sludge Wave, adaptability boosted, still hits like a fucking truck. Then we have Scald and Toxic Spike, because Toxic Spike can actually put a dent into his team. I know he has the Venusaur, but it's always nice for Blissey to get it some damage. Same goes for Machamp, Hippowdon, Jolteon, Meloetta, Superior, and Sandslash. I mean, those are all mons that are very nice to get some damage on with the residual damage, actually, with the Toxic Spikes. So that's why I'm actually running those. I'm not really sure if that's going to be my in-game plan. As soon as I see his team preview, I'm going to start thinking, okay, what can I use? What's not going to be very useful this match? So that's when I actually start building my game plan actually in the game. But I do thought that Toxic Spike was a very niche thing to bring. I did put on a safety goggles. If you do not know, this is just my hard counter to Mega Venusaur, because Holder is immune to powder moves and damage from Sandstorm or Hail, so it doesn't really matter Sandstorm or Hail, but this immune to powder moves, so he cannot put me to sleep with Sleep Powder. So nothing on my team is in fact going to sleep as soon as I can get Dragalgy for free on the Mega Venusaur. So next mon is going to be Austin. Austin is my Crocoon. No, it's actually not Crocoon. It's a Resto Chesto Suicune with a Scald, Ice Beam, Calm Mind, and Rest. Once more, the only thing I want Suicune to do is just get some chip damage off on the Hydreigon. I wanted to check the Ursaring. I wanted to check Heatran. Those are things I wanted to check Sandslash as well, and Hippowdon too. So those are all mons that I really would like it to check, and it can actually set up in the face of Blissey, and as soon as it statuses me, I can just rest and then get my instant recovery back. So this is why I'm actually running max HP, max defense, bold nature, because otherwise I get 2-hit KO'd by Ursaring, by a Facade, so that's why we're running this. If I would be running Calm, then I would actually in fact get 2-hit KO'd by that Ursaring. So that's why we're running this. Anuha is, not sure if I just raped that name, but Anuha is a very nice mon to bring against his team. I figured I would bring Adamant Nature because everything on his team is already faster, so it doesn't even matter whether I bring Jolly or Adamant or not, or is a lot slower than my Mamoswine. So that's why I figured, you know what, Adamant is going to be more beneficial, and it actually boosts the priority attack, priority move Ice Shard on the incoming Pokemon as well, on the Pokemon that are already faster. So that's why I went with Adamant Life Orb. I'm obviously running Thick Fat, no Stealth Frogs and Mamoswine this week, but I decided to run Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Earthquake, and Knockoff. I put Knockoff on because I didn't really have a better move to put on there. I could put Stone Edge on, but it wasn't beneficial for his team. I could put on Superpower, but that wasn't beneficial for his team. So I mean, it was still a 2-hit KO on the Blissey. With Superpower on the Earthquake is a 2-hit KO regardless, so there was no point in weakening and lowering my attack when I still have Earthquake, or Icicle Crash, which do just as much as Superpower. There was absolutely 0 point in me running Superpower or Stone Edge this week, so that's why I decided, you know what, let's go with a nice utility move, and let's go with that. So last mon is going to be more of a late game sweeper. I'm going to try and weaken his as soon as his team is actually pretty low amount of HP. So I'm basically going to use these 5 mons, which you can see right here, and then this is more of a late game sweeper slash revenge killer, which I can use. It's Adamant, Choice Scarf, Heracross, same story as Anuaha. I don't need to run Jolly for anything on his team. Well, if he's running Scarf Hydreigon, it's going to be faster than Fair anyway, so it doesn't even matter. And if he's running Scarf Hydreigon, it's not that big of a threat because I do have Phillips, and that's actually a pretty nice check to Hydreigon of that sort. So we're running Close Combat because Stomp, it's fast, it's Stomp, it doesn't miss. I do have Moxie on this, so I mean, as soon as I get something going, a Heracross can actually sweep through his team with Close Combat. Close Combat is the most obvious move on this one. We have Megahorn. Megahorn is just for other Stomp. As soon as I don't want to actually want to miss something, let's go with there's actually not much reason. Maybe Meloetta. I don't think Close Combat actually outcosts Meloetta, and Megahorn does, so that's why I was running Megahorn on this set. Stone Edge once more, there was no reason to run Stone Edge, but I needed something like that, so I decided, you know what, let's just go with a general coverage. It looks nice, but it's not really necessary. The only 3 moves I really need on this guy, only 2 moves I really need on this guy are Close Combat and Megahorn, so that's about it. But I decided just to go with Earthquake because Earthquake is quad super effective on a Heatron. I do know that Close Combat also kills, but maybe I just don't feel like lowering my defensive, and that could be more beneficial to me in the long run. And then I have Stone Edge just for coverage in general, even though it doesn't really hit anything on his team. I don't needed 4 moves on Heracross, but I felt like filling them in anyway because otherwise it's kind of a waste. So that's going to be the team for this week. You can't leave any suggestions because I'm going to upload this after I've played them, and then 2 days after. So this one is going up on Tuesday. I have a Golurk building around Golurk video. I'm going to record one for Wednesday, and then the actual battle is probably going up on Thursday. So I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I will change my layout just a tiny bit, and we'll just see from there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave some comments in the comment section below. What you think of this team, what I could have done better, what I should think of, what creativity that you really missed on my team, what I could have done to counter his team even better. Let me know. I really want to hear your opinions on. I will see you guys in my next